Now that the markups list is configured, measurement markups can be used to perform the takeoff. For large or irregular rooms and spaces, Revu features a tool called Dynamic Fill, which in practice is similar to the Fill tool in programs such as Microsoft Paint. Dynamic Fill allows you to define regions on a drawing and create markups from them. The tool works by detecting shape boundaries, allowing you to quickly make selections and use them to create spaces, polygon markups, area, polylength, perimeter, and volume measurements, or any combination of these simultaneously. Dynamic Fill can be used to select already enclosed rooms, but also allows you to add temporary boundaries. Before using the tool, make sure that the PDF is calibrated to the appropriate scale. Dynamic Fill can be found in the Measurements toolbar, the Measurements panel, the Tools menu, or by using the keyboard shortcut J. Once Dynamic Fill is activated, a toolbar will appear in the workspace. The Dynamic Fill toolbar is a movable floating toolbar that features all the tools and functions needed to make selections and draw markups. The first thing that you need to do is take a selection of the area you want to place markups or create spaces from. When working with a shape that is fully enclosed within the content layer, simply select Fill from the toolbar. Click and hold the cursor within the boundary of the desired shape. The Dynamic Fill tool will fill in the area and stop when the boundary is hit or when the mouse is released. Additional fill selections can be made to add onto this current selection if needed. This room stopped at the boundary of the doorway swing. To have the entirety of the room included in the fill, add to the selection by clicking and holding the mouse in the left out areas. With the selection made, use the Create section of the toolbar to choose what to create using this selection. There are options available to create a space, draw a polygon markup, or place an area, polylength, perimeter, or volume measurement. Any combination of these items can be created at once by selecting the associated options. For example, you can select the Area tool and the Perimeter tool. Finally, press Apply. Dynamic Fill can also be used within non-enclosed spaces by adding a temporary boundary within the shape to close it off. The temporary boundary will prevent the fill function from spreading beyond its border, but will not otherwise affect the drawing. Before placing a boundary, use the Dynamic Fill settings to adjust the tool. The Dynamic Fill Settings section lets you adjust several tool options. Changing these settings is temporary, and once the Dynamic Fill toolbar is closed, these settings will revert to their defaults. The Boundary Size bar will adjust the size of temporary boundaries when added, and the Boundary Color box adjusts the color of the temporary boundaries. The Fill Size bar will adjust the cursor size when filling a shape, and the Fill Color box will adjust the temporary fill color. The Fill Speed bar adjusts the speed at which the fill spreads when filling a shape. Edge Sensitivity adjusts the sensitivity used when detecting boundaries. Depending on the line weights in the content layer of the PDF, boundaries might be missed or false positives picked up, and adjusting this setting can correct these issues. It's generally a good idea to keep edge sensitivity as high so all boundaries are detected. The size of the boundary will appear connected to this cursor, and currently the boundary tool is too large to use for this area. To add a temporary boundary, select the Add Boundary button from the Dynamic Fill toolbar. To add a temporary boundary, select the first point for the boundary. Then select additional points until the desired boundary line is created. To finish drawing the boundary, double-click on the last point. The temporary boundary will appear on the page. Continue placing boundaries until the space is closed. Once enclosed, the Fill tool can once again be used to create a selection. The fill will automatically stop at the temporary boundaries. For this example, the perimeter option will be toggled off, so only an area measurement will be applied. Then select Apply. An area measurement has been created using the Dynamic Fill selection. If a mistake is made while using Dynamic Fill, such as the fill bleeding out of the desired space, both fills and boundaries can be cleared using the Clear button. You can choose to delete just fills, just boundaries, or all dynamic fill elements at once by selecting Clear All. When finished, the Dynamic Fill toolbar can be closed by selecting Close. The markups list is pulling the area measurements taken from the PDF and multiplying them according to the different material cost formulas set up earlier with custom columns. Although these costs can be tracked from the markups list, the Quantity Link tool can be used to automatically track any measurements taken in Microsoft Excel. The Quantity Link tool helps create accurate bid calculations and improve quantity takeoffs by transferring measurement totals from a local PDF to an Excel spreadsheet in real time. Before creating links, add a subject to the materials, such as flooring, which will help organize the takeoff when more materials are added. To use Quantity Link, open Microsoft Excel. Quantity Link is a feature included with Revu Extreme. Installing Revu Extreme will add the plugin to Excel. You can set up formulas for a bid template in Excel to quickly calculate measurement data pulled from Revu. This bid template has sections for measurement totals, material types, material price per square foot, and cost per material. Start by entering the material in the material row. Under material price, type in the price for vapor barrier per square foot. Lastly, set up a formula for the cost per material. The formula in this case is the product of the material price cell and the measurement total cell, which is where the quantity link will be set up. Once all the materials, costs, and cost formulas have been entered, set up the flooring cost column to automatically add up all of the individual material costs per measurement by placing a sum formula in the cell. To set up a quantity link, right-click on the cell where the link should take place, in this case, the measurement total cell. With a license of Bluebeam Revu Extreme on your computer, a quantity link option will appear at the top of the drop-down. Select Create to create a new link. In the pop-up window, upload the PDF you want to link to Excel. When creating the link, first select the specific measurement total you want to pull from the PDF. In this case, select Area. Now select Subject and Flooring. The selected cell will display the combined area measurements under the flooring subject on Revu, pulled from the PDF. As the bid template formulas have been created in Excel, the cost columns will calculate the costs of individual materials and the total cost of all materials for the area measurements. This is the end of part 2. Please select Close to continue to part 3.